Hey, what's happening, gamers? Welcome back to the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles on KwingsLetsPlays. How's everybody doing today? And thank you, Brittany Luna, for renewing your membership on the channel. You are breathtaking.
Hero Hype!
Hero Hype, that's right. So anyway, special shout-outs to our friends over at Capcom for providing a copy of this game for review, walkthrough, and live streaming purposes. And today we continue the game after Susie has returned. So... there we go. Brittany gets her there. Yep. Ultimate hero hype. And I just woke up, so I'm a little hazy, but we're gonna get there. So, whoa, microphone got all. There we go.
You're like 10 feet away from the microphone.
I'm working on it. I'm sorry. Where's my controller?
I don't know. I have it over there.
Oh, it's over by you. Okay, cool. So, what's happening today is Susie is back, and I think I'm trying to remember what we're doing. Oh, we have to. We're gonna talk in the antechamber. That's right.
You can tell when you start typing.
What?
Snack you.
What? I said I just woke up. I'm a little, like, my brain is not there completely yet.
Snack you, everyone, for watching.
Oh my gosh. Whatever.
Alright.
Mr. Naruhodo! Ah, yes, what is it? What can I do for you?
I'm being a jerk to Luke.
I'm sorry. I was wrong, you were right. I tricked you. I trusted you. I dragged you into my mess. Oh, how did it ever come to this? I'm so sorry!
Leave Luke alone, says Sons of Gaming. Yeah, actually, we won't talk. Good thing Sons of Gaming had to pineapple me earlier on my earlier stream, so.
Get her. Did you really have no idea, Professor? About, Mr. Drebber was really up to, I mean? About what he was really constructing? Naturally! That machine was the embodiment of my hypothesis, of all my hopes and dreams. I had
It's so far away.
Stop touching the microphone! I had complete faith in it. Right. In that case, I won't say any more. I won't say anything more. Now, sadly, the murder accusation against you still stands, though. So we must do as much as investigation as we can before the trial resumes tomorrow.
Amber being a bully, says Goki.
Well,
yes.
Well, thank you very much for me. Thank you. Huh? Susie!
Oh, I'm sorry for arriving late this morning, Mr. Naruhodo.
Yeah, arriving late?
Didn't you receive my postcard? I wanted to let you know when I would arrive.
Postcard? What postcard?
I hid it from you, Ryuno, so it would be a surprise. Well, did it work?
I was surprised, alright, especially when she threw me to the ground.
Oh dear, I'm so sorry. I was just so happy to see you again that sort of slipped out.
Maybe we could stick to more traditional displays of emotion in the future instead of throwing me around. Nope, that's how she's going to display affection, is she's going to toss you around. Deal with it.
Susie's train was late until London Victoria this morning, you see. But we made the coachman really whip the horses hard, so she didn't miss the whole trail.
Yes, the horses were in bad shape after that. I was watching from the gallery for a while, but in the end, I'm afraid I couldn't contain myself.
Well, I'm glad you didn't.
Oh!
Having you at my side in the court gives me strength I need to win. Yes, Susie's love language is tossing Ryunosuke. That's what's known as her love language, is she uses violence. So anyway, I'm delighted to see you again back in London. I had no idea.
Oh, you're too kind, Mr. Naruhodo. I'm delighted to be here. I hope I can continue to be of service to you.
Oh, of course. So, what's brought you back? Did Professor Mikotoba not protest?
save all that conversation for when we're back at home, shall we?
Okay, let's listen to an 11-year-old child.
Yay!
You know, I've made up most special blends ever for this special occasion.
Oh, Iris, how wonderful! I can't wait.
Special tea blend hype.
Yes, Luke is a cranky vampire, I guess. He's a
What?
vampire, definitely.
Susie was back in London. If I was a vampire, I wouldn't be up until after the sun had completely set. I can still see the sunlight outside.
But not for long. You have the shades pulled.
Yeah, but there's some sunlight isn't in here.
Why is your skin burning where the little pieces of light are touching it?
Let's not worry about that. It's hard to describe how happy that made me feel at the time, but despite my elation, our tale was about to take yet another extraordinary turn.
Oh. I mean, yay! I'm excited.
To be continued. Well, that's it. Nope, I'm just kidding.
And scene.
And
End of the
scene.
stream.
No,
Thanks for
no,
letting
no,
us
no,
delay
no,
the stream
don't,
half
no,
an
no,
hour,
no.
guys.
People don't have sarcasm. Don't.
Oh.
No, we're moving on. Moving on. Moving on. Moving on. Moving on.
Hey, Cassie, how's it going? Great to see you.
Now it's time for the ace of attorneyness. Okay.
Sons of Gaming says you could get up at dusk. Not true, you could get up at dusk.
No, because it's good to stream at 4 o'clock because there's people that are in the East Coast that are coming home from school and work.
Oh, I think
So.
he was referring to the vampire thing.
Oh, yeah. No, 4 o'clock is a good time for us to stream, though. 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night.
Sons of Gaming says, wait, it's not the end then?
No.
23rd of October, 2:41, Naruhodo's legal consultancy.
Oh, that was an early trial. Usually they don't get home until the evening.
Oh, this room, it's been too long. It hasn't changed in the slightest, though, Naruhodo. It's been some 6 months, hasn't it? That's a long time for things to stay so familiar.
I don't know when you might return, though. I wanted everything to be just as you'd left it. But it's been some 6 months, it's true.
So, is your father all right, Susie? What happened?
My father? Oh!
Yes, Professor Mikotoba. I mean, it's half a year ago, and that's when you went to Japan. Because of the telegram you received saying he'd fallen ill with a very high fever for some unknown reason.
That's right. So I was surprised to learn that you'd be coming back so soon. Surprised but happy.
Aww.
I think I wrote about it in my letter to you. That it was all a trick. My father is in fine health, and I'm obviously very relieved about that.
Well, we're delighted to have you back.
It was quite by accident that I've been able to return to Europe, actually. It's because of a very grand conference called the International Forensic Science Symposium.
The International Forensic... That's the same the thing that Lord Strongheart mentioned.
Anyway, I've arrived safe and sound, and all that matters is that I'm here now. After all, I haven't yet fulfilled my promise to you, Iris.
Oh,
You must tell us everything that happened while you were back in Japan.
Yes, of course, I shall, Ryunosuke.
And there's one other thing. Something you wrote in your letter that particularly grabbed my attention. About you-know-who. About Kazuma.
I know. I'll tell you all that I can.
Okay. First things first.
Hey, Billy, Sandifer, how's it going? Great to see you. Hey, Judd and Gogeta Blue, great to see you, Total Spies. Hi, Silver Leo and Luigi44, Akira and Cassie. I see your Daruma still has only one eye filled in on it.
Well, we agreed that it's something we do together, didn't we? We could do it right now if you like. I'd be happy with that.
Okay, I'll get some crayons. I rather like anticipation, I think, Mr. Naruhodo.
Okay. You see, I've been keeping my desk beautifully covered in papers, as always.
You really must tidy it up, Mr. Naruhodo. No more excuses.
But Miss Susie, the way I see it, all these papers building up on my desk are like a reminder of my wonderfully diverse daily life. I'd like to have them as they are, so I never forget how lucky I am to have such a varied experience.
In that case, you should definitely have a thorough tidy.
Huh?
Then you'd be able to see your papers building up all over and feel that joy renewed.
Still can't beat her in an argument, even though I'm the lawyer here. Nope. You can't.
Yeah, and without her, you got, like, really stumped on certain things when
Yep.
she was gone.
You need Susie. That's fine. Tea set.
Oh, I'm so looking forward to making you some tea again, Mr. Naruhodo.
Which you'd think I wouldn't like, given that I'm not keen on bitter flavors, but it's Susie's tea, so... And it's amazing what a little cake or something on the side can do. Oh, her tea's bitter. Oh.
Oh.
Okay.
I would dearly love to serve you some sort of Japanese sweet, along with your matcha green tea. But I suppose that's simply not possible, given how long we've been staying here in London.
Well, I do like little chocolates you put with my tea. They go wonderfully.
Oh, Mr. Naruhodo, you would, wouldn't you?
That gives me a warm glow inside for some reason. You're happy she's back, you dummy.
You have water gently boiling on the stove, I see.
It feels wrong somehow if I can't hear the water bubbling away. And we have plenty of logs. It's not like we have to worry about paying for gas.
It's important to open the window for fresh air when the fire's burning, though. You can't keep it closed just because it's cold outside. It could be a matter of life and death.
Avoiding the freezing winter air is a matter of life and death too, if you ask me.
Oh, well, perhaps a nice cup of tea will warm you up later.
Well, I mean, they do have an exhaust leading out though, don't they? That's what this giant pipe is, isn't it?
Yeah?
Yeah.
I think so.
So, I mean, the only fire that's really, the stove thing would be the kettle.
Mm. Wait, you put chocolate in your tea? This is Ray John? I think they meant like beside the tea. I don't know. So, I'm so pleased to see all our sea creatures doing so well in that aquarium.
Yes, the prawns are still swimming and the anemones are still swaying. Obviously, I've been looking after them carefully though. At first, I used to drool whenever I looked at those juicy prawns, but not anymore. They're like a part of the family now.
I don't suppose they'll ever know how close they were to meeting their maker. Okay.
Prawns. Prawns is a...
I feel like Susie is secretly dark.
kind of like my wife. Your room, though, it should be exactly as you left it. I still slept out here. I've never actually been inside. I've never been invited.
Wow, you didn't sleep there the entire time she was gone? Of course not. Only Iris is allowed in my room, silly. You're a man. You have to sleep on the floor.
No! No doubt I'll be hearing you two giggling away in there again then. Yep. What happened to a woman's room is her chamber of secrets. I was waiting for that. What else can we click on? Anything else? Ah! The shovel. Thinking back, that spade's been here since we first moved in, hasn't it?
I'm sure I've told you before, Mr. Naruhodo. It's not a spade, it's a shovel.
No, shovels are for digging. That's for scooping up loose materials. It's a spade.
No, spades are for digging. That's for scooping up loose material. It's a shovel.
The Great Spade Shovel War rages on. Okay. They're so cute. I like them. Alright, let's talk with Susie and then
That's like
speak
our
to Iris.
coupon rule.
No, it's coupons. It's not
definitely
it's not
coupon.
No, it's not coupons. It even says coupons.
I read it as coupon, though.
Well, you read it wrong. It's not a coupon. That's weird. It's called a coupon. Anyway, back in Britain. It's not a coupon.
When I first arrived back in Japan, I really thought I'd never be allowed to return to Britain again. But curiously, after that awful trial at the Supreme Court, Father's mood changed entirely.
The awful trial? Oh, yes! For the murder of Jazeel Brett.
Oh, you dressed as a man then, didn't you, Susie?
Oh, well, yes. Since women are forbidden in the courtroom, I had no choice.
Wow, amazing! I I wish I'd seen it. Don't you, Ryuno?
Yeah, I suppose so.
I don't think Ryuno wanted to see it.
I want to play at being a lawyer now, too. I could wear a false moustache, maybe.
I don't think any mustache could hide the fact that you're just an 11-year-old girl, Iris. There's something else I've been wanting to ask you, Miss Susie. It's about the real person, why Professor Mikotoba summoned you... Oh, it's about the real reason that the professor summoned you back to Japan. You said in your letter it was something to do with that convict's loot we found in Mr. Natsume's lodgings.
That's right. The very large dog collar we found with a bee emblem on it. It seems Mr. Natsume included a drawing of the collar in the report he submitted about his time in Britain. I understand that when Father saw the report, he turned as white as a sheet.
Why would that be?
Father came to Britain himself, of course, to study. It was some time ago now, but he stayed for 6 years. I can only imagine that something must have happened during that time. But if he refuses to tell me what it was, then I intend to find the answer for myself. And I've decided that I, for one, won't keep any more secrets.
Oh my.
Oh, Susie!
That's a very meaningful look Susie's giving Iris there. Okay. Forensic science... whatever. So Lord Strongheart mentioned something about that symposium, too. I think he said that investigative authorities from 40 different countries would attend.
Yes, and from Japan, my father and Judge Jigoku have been invited. It's something of an honor, I believe.
Well, Professor Mikotoba is leading the expert in forensic medicine in our country, after all. But who's the other person you mentioned? A judge? Did you say...
Yes, His Excellency, Judge Seishiro Jigoku. You've met him, Naruhodo, remember? Last year in the Supreme Court. You can't possibly have forgotten. That terrible trial of yours where you were accused of murder, remember that guy?
Ah, yes. I try to think of that as positive turning point in my life these days.
There he is.
That's the guy.
Well, it was Judge Jigoku who presided over that trial.
Goku! Yeah. Okay.
No, Jigoku Ryunosuke.
If I'm perfectly honest, I'd be happy never to see that man's face again in my life.
Oh, well, anyway, as Father was invited to the symposium, he agreed to me returning to Britain too. He won't actually arrive until next month, but, well, I couldn't wait. So I pleaded with him, and in the end he agreed to me going on ahead.
Yes, about the symposium. It seems as though Lord Strongheart has put in an awful lot of work to make it happen. It's obviously very important.
I believe it is, yes. As I understand it, Lord Strongheart organized the entire event himself. I think he's hoping that by achieving exceptional results, he'll get the job of Attorney General.
The most senior position in the British justice system.
He's hoping to use his power to create the world's finest policing institution. That's what Father said anyway. Apparently, it's Lord Strongheart's lifelong ambition.
Does Professor Mikotoba know Lord Strongheart then? I wonder. Actually, Lord Strongheart gave me a long speech all about his very subject only yesterday. But I sort of, well, lost the will to live early on and didn't really listen to much of it.
How trying for you.
Jazeel Brett. The woman whose unforgivable actions ended in me being wrongfully accused of a crime that I didn't... That doesn't make sense. The woman's whose unforgivable actions ended in me.
Ended in me being accused of a crime I didn't commit.
Maybe they should have had like a...
Maybe it should say ended with me being accused of a crime.
The murder of John H. Wilson. Yes, Jazeel Brett. That's a name I won't forget as long as I live.
Sorry.
No fidgeting.
The extraordinary thing is, though, it seems it's a name we should all forget.
Sorry?
Since the incident, our government's intelligence services have been investigating Miss Brett. But it turns out that the Englishwoman by the name of Jazeel Brett never actually existed.
Didn't exist? But how can that be?
It was a pseudonym. Her real name was Shin. And she wasn't a visiting student either. That was all a front.
A front? Who on earth was she then?
Miss A. Shin. Her name is literally all our intelligence services have been able to ascertain about her. Nobody knows why or even how she came to be in Japan. It's a complete mystery.
But that makes no sense. It's no easy task to be accepted as a foreign student anywhere. What could the woman have been up to?
I'm afraid I don't really know, Ryunosuke. The only thing we can be sure of is that she had some business in our country that we don't yet understand.
And now she's been killed, huh? While all the questions surrounding her existence remain unanswered.
I'm afraid so.
A. Shin, who on earth was she? And why do I feel as though I've heard that name before somewhere? Why does it feel like we've heard that name before?
I don't
know. I'll probably come back. What about Kazuma?
After my friend Rei's trial, the reporter who actually killed Miss Brett said something very strange, Ryunosuke.
I know the truth. I know you had a hand in what went on. In the visiting student's fate, I mean. Nobody here in Japan knows anything about it. They don't know that the guy never made it to England, that he died on that steamship, and that he never,
Obviously, I couldn't ask him to elaborate at the time. But later, I visited the man in his prison cell and asked him what he was going to say about Kazuma-sama.
And what did you learn?
After he died on the voyage to Great Britain, his body should have been unladed at the port of Hong Kong and passed into the care of the consulate staff there.
Should have been?
Well, it turns out that his body never arrived. It just disappeared.
What? Kazuma's body vanished?
Our government tried to cover the fact up, it seems. They erected a grave on the cliffs in our hometown. Except Kazuma-sama, he isn't there.
Did Professor Mikotoba know about this?
Yes, it would seem that he did. But he didn't tell me. They're still investigating what happened to Kazuma-sama's body as we speak.
Oh my gosh. I just don't believe it. And what is this acute feeling of apprehension that I feel all of a sudden? Kazuma's mystery. Thinking back now, some of the things that happened on the SSS ship was definitely strange for me. I mean, after he died, we never saw his body again, did we? Could it be that he's actually still alive?
Stop it, Mr. Naruhodo! It's too much to bear!
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to, it's just...
Just thinking about the possibility pains me so very much. Cast your mind back for a moment, Mr. Naruhodo. When Kazuma-sama was discovered, Mr. Sholmes was there, wasn't he?
Ah!
And he definitely examined the body. I remember it very clearly.
Ah, you're right.
Unless Mr. Sholmes was in the cover-up.
So if Kazuma hadn't actually been dead at all, it would mean that Mr. Sholmes had lied to us.
But there's no reason why he would possibly have done such a thing. Was there?
I suppose that's true, yes.
The idea that he might still be alive somewhere. It wants to fill me with hope, but I can't let it. Because if it turned out to be true, then I'd be back at the bottom of that awful pit of despair again. I'm terrified of what that might do to me, Ryunosuke.
Miss Susie, I don't know what's going on.
I love him!
Maybe. I know she's given the idea the thought it deserves. It's Susie we're talking about, after all. So probably I shouldn't push it now. Huh? Okay, so we did everything. So now, let's talk with... I saw Iris standing here patiently.
It must be about a year now. I wrote a really long story based on some of Father's old notes. It's about one of Harley's great exploits. It's called The Hound of the Baskervilles.
But then Mr. Sholmes forbade you from actually publishing it. And put that manuscript somewhere nobody could ever get their hands on it.
So, nobody knows anything about it, apart from Harley and I. But for some reason, you knew the title of it, didn't you, Susie?
Yeah, I kind of want to know what's going on with this.
Oh, it sounds so exciting, Mr. Sholmes. The Hound of the Baskervilles. I should love to read it.
Yeah. Iris has been waiting all this time to know.
And you wouldn't tell me? How did you come to know about it, Susie?
Yes, but I made you a promise that I would explain one day, didn't I? I think it's time now.
Okay, good, finally. Oh.
I'm only sorry I had to keep it from you for so long, Iris.
The Hound of the Baskervilles. Dun, 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 dun.
It was completely by accident that I came to know the title of your manuscript, Iris. It was a short while before we left Japan. I was cleaning Father's study and I saw something on his writing desk. A large box of papers. There was a label affixed to the box that was written in English. It read, The Hound of the Baskervilles.
What?
My Baskerville story?
Of course, I had no idea what it was at the time, but Father came in and...
Susie, what are you doing?
Father! Oh, Father!
Did you look at those papers?
No! I simply read the label, that's all.
Well, put it out of your mind.
Sorry?
Forget that you ever saw it, and certainly don't tell anyone else about this. Do you understand? Wow. But what was Iris's manuscript doing in Japan?
I have no idea. But when I heard Iris mention the word Baskerville that day, the title just slipped out. I would never have guessed that it was an unpublished account of one of Mr. Sholmes' exploits. When I returned to Japan, I asked Father to explain it to me, but he refused to answer any of my questions, and there was no sign of the big box in his office anymore.
Very interesting. He's Iris's dad, I bet.
What?
That's really all I know about it, Iris.
I'm calling it now. They're sisters, I think.
I've no doubt that Father has a very good reason for being so secretive about it, but still, I made up my mind to explain myself to both of you.
Well, thank you for being so honest, Susie.
Okay. Well, now we have the Hound of the Baskervilles taken care of. Well,
That's right, OH. Without Susie, Ryunosuke is hopeless, just like Phoenix without Maya. Definitely. So, Mr. Naruhodo, I'm ready to start investigating if you are. I've committed every detail about the case to memory.
wow.
And Iris has told me about the disturbing happenings at the Waxwork Museum as well.
So you're fully abreast of the situation already? Miss Susie, I'd expect nothing less, to be honest.
I would think our first port of call should be to investigate this Mr. Drebber, the engineer responsible for building the elaborate machine that was used to effect this extraordinary trick.
Yes, a conjurer of sorts by the sound of it. Well known in field of science and magic.
Then, we need to go and arrest him!
Oh no, please don't throw me!
Hiya!
Well, yes. he must know the truth about this case, so I agree, we really do need to find the man.
It sounds like it's a case of tracking someone down. Which is a job for the police or a great detective.
Are we supposed to guess who she might be thinking of? We don't have much time, so we need to start right away, I think.
Good idea, Ryuno.
Oh, you're not coming today?
I'm going to Brixton Road shortly before the herb market. But let me know later how you got on, won't you?
Yeah, she's gonna use you as story fodder. Okay.
Yep.
That was a little abrupt. The pull of the herb market must be strong. Alright, so... Oh, what to do?
Do you know?
Huh?
I honestly thought I might never have the opportunity to return to Great Britain, Ryunosuke. And certainly not so soon.
It's funny, for the past 6 months I haven't been able to work in court. Meanwhile, you've been raising a storm in the Supreme Court of the Judicature back in Japan.
Please, Mr. Naruhodo. I may have been dressed as a man, but it was very reserved performance.
So what your father said in his letter about Ryutaro takedown is reserved?
My Ryu takedown.
Ryu takedown?
Well, anyway, I'm back here in this great capital now, and ready to assist you again, in any way that I can.
Thank you, Miss Susie.
It's my pleasure, Mr. Naruhodo.
Okay, so should we call this episode The Return of Susie?
I
think we
guess
should.
so. Susie's return.
We'll call it her real name, though.
Susato's return.
Yeah. Here we go.
But then, how could they be sisters? It doesn't make any sense. Then does he have a second wife in England? I'm so confused.
I think that his first... Well, maybe he had... I don't know. That's a good question. I mean, it would be hard to prove that he was married if he was in England. Maybe he had a moment of indiscretion or something. I don't know.
Maybe he got married and then she died.
Oh, you mean Susie's mother's dead, and then he got married again, or had a child in England?
Maybe
'Cause
both
Susie-
of his wives are dead.
Susie's mom, or Susie is like 17, and Iris is 11.
Yeah, but you never see either of their moms. Maybe they both died.
Yeah, probably.
Maybe they both got murdered because he was always, like, trying to do murder stuff.
Trying to do murder stuff with Holmes. Yeah.
Maybe, like, they got in the way and stuff.
It's
It's hard for me to believe that Susato's dad had a moment of indiscretion because he seems like such a, like, very reserved person. I don't feel like he would just go gallivanting around.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it feels like.
Yeah. 23rd of October, Shome Sweet.
Title change. That's right, Total Spies.
Title change. There was no title before. Now we have a title. I do like this fireplace. It's one of the best things I've seen since we arrived in this country, in fact. Although, I do yearn for a Japanese kotatsu. Putting your legs under a warm blanketed table is so comforting.
Do be careful, Mr. Naruhodo. Don't mistakenly put your feet into that fire, will you, please? You'd suffer terrible burns, you know.
Huh? I worry sometimes about how Susie sees me.
Make sure you don't burn yourself, Naruhodo.
Ah yes, Mr. Shome's curious collection of trinkets from the various mysteries he solved.
It's one of my favorite parts of this room, full of items with such exciting tales to tell. And I do believe he's added to it since I last looked. Now, there's a mysterious prince, a mysterious little box, a mysterious horseshoe, and a mysterious biscuit.
I think the last one just might be one of Iris's unfinished snacks. Alright, Zelda, I'm putting my leg down. You wanna obviously climb.
It is a beautiful house, Cassie. Great to see you guys in the chat. Hey, Princess Emmy, Ethan, OH, JD, High Sense of Gaming says, so they're sisters. Goki says, Nani? Hello, great to see you, Akira. Goki45. Let her speak. Let Iris speak. Thanks, Goki. Great to see you, May 12. How's it going, May 12? Hey, Judd and Tiger X and everybody.
Yep. Alright, so this is the blackboard where Iris scribbles down her latest ideas, isn't it? Let's see. Oh! She seems to have drawn a lot of little stick figures all lined up. Look.
Cheap apples at the market is what all of them say.
What? The little figures can speak?
All your questions would be answered if only you would read this month's Rants magazine, Ryunosuke.
So I'm the only one who can't make any sense of this. Okay, then. Well, that's interesting. Let's see.
Unfinished snacks. They would be moldy and need to be thrown away, says Total Spies fan.
They would.
Ethan says, yes, Naruhodo would totally put his feet in that fire because he's scatterbrained, lol.
I wouldn't say he's that bad.
He might have them near the fire too long.
Okay. This is Mr. Shom's famous violin, the Stradivarius. The one he had found being sold for a song at a pawnbrokery. What's it called again? Shoddy something?
Oh, yes. This wonderful instrument features in The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes. It's a world-famous Stradivarius.
What?
Stradivarius, Mr. Naruhodo.
Strategivore?
Are you even trying at this point?
Well, come back to this another time, I think. Okay.
My violin says Stradivarius in it too. But it's a fake.
Yours is a fake Stradivarius.
But that's actually a good violin to get. If you get a fake Stradivarius, it means it was made quality enough to pose as a Stradivarius. But it's not real.
Okay.
My violin was made in the year 1910. If it was a real Stradivarius, it would have been made in the 1700s.
Oh.
And we're actually in the 1800s right now, which means that Shom's violin is about at least 100 years old.
Oh, October 23rd, British Supreme Court, Lord Chief Justice.
Why do I know so many fun facts?
You love fun facts. Oh, well, who's there standing beside Lord Strongheart?
I wonder. I've never seen her before.
Ah, the young champion of the court. You had some success this morning, I understand? And you've thrown the entire government into disarray as a result. Oh, hello. You mean because Professor Harebrain's experiment? Sham science being demonstrated at London's great exhibition. The country's been made to look foolish, and now politicians are scrambling to respond. Lord Van Zeek's in his Whitehall as we speak, giving an emergency briefing. Oh dear, I didn't mean to cause any trouble. None of this is your responsibility. The government is entirely to blame for having been taken in. The special dispensation that prevents investigation at the scene will be annulled later today. Once that happens, my forensic investigation team will move in and deal with that scrap metal in no time. It's scrap metal now, is it?
Until later then, Lord Strongheart.
Yes, thank you very much.
Disappears.
Probably some forensic lady. Who was that just now?
Someone tall.
That was Dr. Courtney Scythe, Scotland Yard's esteemed chief coroner. She's leading the forensic investigation team's handling of this case. She has just delivered her report about the victim in fact. Oh, I see. About Mr. Asman? Following the outcome of the trial earlier, I asked the coroner's office to reevaluate its findings. I don't have time to tell you what she concluded. If you want to know, you'll have to speak to her directly. You can find her in the Forensic Science Laboratory. Ah, right. Well, thank you. Now, what are you, here to see me about? I can give you 7 minutes and 39 seconds of my time. So it's not running quite so spectacularly late anymore? Okay. We get to ask him questions now. Hooray.
What are we gonna ask him about?
Whatever.
I guess this is what we're asking him about.
It's always important to, you know, like basically press everybody on everything. Talk to them about everything.
Okay.
Kitty's so fluffy. Love you, Zelda. What exactly is the forensic... Oh, sorry, that's Ryunosuke. What exactly is the forensic investigation team that you mentioned before? Ah, the British Empire's police report must become the most exemplary in the world. For that to happen, it's imperative that we embrace forensic science and everything it has to offer. I first created the forensic investigation team a year ago, now, unofficially of course, to pave the way.
Oh my goodness, a year ago?
Yes. Next month's symposium, I intend to present the results of their work to the world. Once I do that, the House of Lords will be powerless to oppose the creation of a full-scale forensics division. And once that happens, the position of Attorney General will be mine, and criminals will suffer dearly. What do you mean? For too long, those scoundrels have made a mockery of our legal system with false evidence and bribes. But London's scum is about to be rounded up and burned in the fires of hell.
What?
I intend to see it personally. By creating the finest police force the world has ever known to protect our honor and our future. Look at those eyes. He means every word he says. Dr. Scythe is an extraordinarily reliable coroner. When I officially establish the forensics division at Scotland Yard, she will run it as my right-hand woman. Now then, speaking of symposium, Miss Mikotoba.
Oh, yes, my lord.
Your father should be on the high seas as we speak, making his way to represent the Empire of Japan.
Yes, that's right. I understand he will arrive at the beginning of next month.
Are you acquainted, Lord Strongheart? With Professor Mikotoba, I mean. It was many years ago now, but yes. I remember Dr. Mikotoba very well.
Oh!
What? Maybe they went to school together. If my memory serves correctly, it's some 15 years ago now that your father came to Britain as a visiting student.
Oh, it was the year I was born. So yes, 16 years ago, in fact.
Mikotoba was a young practitioner of forensic science, and Jugako accompanied him as a young promising judge. Jigoku. The punctualness?
Punctiliousness.
The being on time and politeness of the Japanese at the time impressed us greatly. Not that I wish to imply impoliteness or carelessness on your part in any way. I didn't think that you were. Dr. Mikotoba studied forensic science at one of London's large hospitals. St. Sinners, if I'm not mistaken. Dr. Scythe was also there when it happened.
Then, Dr. Scythe knows my father, does she?
She was a young medical assistant at the time, so I doubt their So I doubt their paths crossed regularly. But I have no doubt they knew each other superficially. After all, Dr. Mikotoba was studying his subject for some 6 years in total. 6 years? That's a long time to be studying abroad, isn't it?
I lived with my grandmother in those years.
So he left his newly born daughter behind and went overseas for 6 whole years?
It was rather turbulent time at home.
Oh?
Perhaps father wanted a reason to get away.
What do you mean? Why?
Oh.
Well, clearly something was going on at the time. The mother passed away, you're right. She just said she was raised by her grandmother, so.
Oh yeah, she didn't have a mom.
Yeah, so he didn't cheat on his wife. He found somebody else in England.
Oh, happy birthday, JD, if it's your birthday.
Lord Van Zeeks. I wanted to ask you about Lord Van Zeeks, actually. I heard that his older brother was killed some years ago by a mass murderer known as the Professor, who targeted nobles and royalty. Is this right? You Japanese are a thorough lot. You've done your research well. Yes. And you could say it was that very incident that gave rise to the Reaper. What? Why? When his brother, Clint Van Zeeks, was murdered. It was just after young Barak had graduated from the University of London and became a prosecutor, when obvious criminals who managed to evade conviction in the court started disappearing. Rumors quickly spread throughout the capital. Londoners started to say that wherever Baron von Zeeks went, the ghost of his dead brother wasn't far behind. Oh my gosh.
Oh my word!
So Lord Van Zeeks isn't the Reaper.
It's his brother.
It's the ghost of his brother!
Whoa! The ghost!
Ever since that time, he became a very aloof figure in London's legal circles.
His dead brother is killing people?
I mean...
How interesting.
Oh yes, Lord Strongheart. Go ahead. It's about Professor Harebrain's experimental machine thingy-mabobber. We'd like your permission to examine the remains, if possible. Are you well versed in science, then? Oh, not in the slightest. In fact, you could say I was barely aware of the subject at all until recently. Well, the special dispensation legally preventing investigation of the machine is currently being annulled. Within a few hours, Dr. Sife's team of forensic experts will begin their own investigation. But I suppose until then, there is no harm in you looking at the wreckage, as long as you don't touch anything. Thank you, yeah, of course. Being able to look at it's better than nothing.
And I'll be able to see it too!
Your time is up. You'll have to excuse me now. I'm afraid my next engagement calls.
We are extremely sorry to have troubled you when you are so busy, my lord.
I have important matters to attend in preparation for the symposium, you understand? Okay, bye.
Goodbye.
Okay, let's go look at that machine now. We got permission. Woohoo!
Alright. JD says, Strongheart, like, maybe if he was Kevin Hart. LOL. That would be hilarious if he had a voice like Kevin Hart. He's like the opposite personality as Kevin Hart, but that would be funny. Cheyenne says, interestingly enough, her name means scythe, which actually means death in Japanese.
Oh, like death scythe? Oh, okay, I get it. I understand.
So she's like...
Forensic laboratory. Let's go here.
Dr. Death.
Dr. Death. Oh, wow, yeah, her office is kind of creepy. October 23rd, Forensics Lab.
She has a skeleton.
I believe this is it. Dr. Sai's laboratory. That chemical smell really assaults the nose. There's plenty of to assault the eyes in here, too.
Yeah, especially the skeletons. It looks as though the doctor isn't here right now. But we're here now, so we may as well do some sightseeing, don't you think, Ryunosuke?
What? A seasoned tourist you become, Miss Susie. We could just have a little look around, being careful not to upset any of the restless souls, I guess. Alright, so
oh wow, look at she has bone saws and stuff.
Ugh.
Oh.
Well, look at this. That magnificent display case. The cherry wood has been polished to a high sheen, and the intricate carvings is a joy to behold.
She does autopsies.
Yep. Western cabinet makers really are skilled, aren't they?
Oh, do you have nothing to say about the skeleton inside, Mr. Naruhodo?
Miss Susie, can't you tell that I'm trying very hard to avoid talking about that terrifying contents in the case? It's how I cope.
Oh, I'll be sure to remember that from now on, Ryunosuke.
Scary skeleton. Look at this big, thick book here.
Ah, it appears to be an accounting ledger. It's a record of the forensic investigation team's spending, I think.
Oh.
Oh.
What is it, Susie?
It's clear that the team purchases various equipment and supplies on a monthly basis, but, well, one entry seems rather strange.
Really? In what way?
They're buying 500 scalpels every month!
500? They must be working really hard on dissecting corpses.
I don't know. Judicial autopsies are only carried out in certain special circumstances, and scalpel blades can be sharpened too. so you can reuse them.
It does seem a bit strange, you're right.
And you would, yeah.
500 scalpels a month. What could they possibly using all them for?
It feels really sus. Something feels wrong. Doesn't make any sense.
Oops.
What are you doing?
Ah!
Oh, wait. I have to do like an English accent.
Sorry, we had something we wanted to ask you, but you weren't here, so...
So, you thought you'd snoop around. That's acceptable to you people from the East, is it?
Hey now!
Well, what do you want?
Lord Strongheart told us, you see, that it was you who examined the victim's body? Mr. Asmon's body, I mean?
Look how pale she is.
She's supposed to be death, so yeah.
So, we came to ask you about your findings, Miss Death, Scythe.
Her skin's about as fair as mine because I never leave the house.
On Lord Strongheart's advice. Yep. She's even paler than Susie, and Susie's Japanese. Very well. I mean, very well. If the Lord Chief Justice has given his consent, I'll tell you that our investigation revealed.
Oh, okay.
I mean, what it revealed. When you're done, you must leave immediately.
Oh, okay. May I examine more of your creepy house? Because I don't know when we're going to be back. There's all these birds up here.
That looks like an owl and a crow up there. Also, why do you purchase 500 scalpels a month?
I know. Why haven't they even twitched since we came in here, though?
They're probably... Well, no, they wouldn't have Mr. Naruhodo. They're taxidermy mounts.
Huh? I was afraid you were going to say that.
They're dead.
I've been trying very hard to tell myself they're just sleeping with their eyes open.
Aww. Yes, I think perhaps you were wise to put something like your Daruma doll on display in the office instead of one of these.
Creepy.
Yeah, this lady seems nuts. She seems dark and creepy. She's a vampire. She's more vampire-y than the other guy.
A table and a set of sharp tools. When you consider each in isolation, it looks like they're quite innocent. So why is it that when you put them side by side, they seem so horribly disturbing?
Oh. It might be best not to ponder it too deeply, Ryunosuke. Seeing the large tome that's open on the desk does make me wonder, though. How can anyone concentrate on bookwork with this acrid odor of chemicals in the air?
Hey, you'd either have to have cast a iron constitution or a really terrible sense of smell. Yeah, it would smell horrible in here.
I can't even think about it. I feel like I'm starting to smell it right now.
No, that's all in your imagination. Those large jars seem to have pale things floating around inside them. Oh no. I suppose they're fruit liquors or something?
You know what?
Like the pickled plums that we make back home in Japan?
I feel like this would smell like formaldehyde.
Yeah.
And death.
Yep.
Father had jars like that in his laboratory as well. I expect they're human organs in a preserving solution like formaldehyde, probably as examples of some rare medical conditions. Creepy.
Miss Susie, there are some things in this world that it's perfectly fine never to know about, okay? Ever.
She likes to learn. Oh!
You are Susie. So as I said, I'm sure they're fruit liquors, aren't they?
Oh, of course.
Some
things you just don't want to know about.
Nope. Ignorance is bliss. Look at the small bottles on the shelves in these cabinets. What an assortment of chemicals.
These ones here are labeled highly toxic.
Ah! Well, that's worrying because, there are also things that look like salt and pepper shakers in there, too.
Oh, yes! And they actually say salt and pepper on them. Oh my gosh, that's one thing, I got taught in my culinary class that if you have, like, chemicals and then you have food products such as salt and pepper or spices, you need to be keeping them in 2 different areas, completely away from each other if they're in a kitchen. Because that's just, like, you don't want anyone to make a mistake. The doctor probably spends a lot of time in this room, and I suppose perhaps she has meals here sometimes.
Oh my gosh.
You can actually get shut down by a health board if you have chemicals near food products.
Life goes on, even when you're surrounded by death.
I know.
Alright, so we've examined everything, I believe. Oh, wait, no, we haven't. There's another thing to examine.
I suppose this is Dr. Sai's desk.
Oh, I would not like to work in a place like this. Like, ever.
It's very tidy, though, isn't it, Mr. Naruhodo? Imagine how efficiently she must work.
The lighting is poor, which is bad for the eyes, and the chemical smell can't be good for you. Not to mention the skeleton watching over you as you work, which is definitely bad for the nerves.
Oh. Well, yes, those are valid concerns, I suppose.
Would you like to have a giant skeleton watching you while you work, Amber? We could put it right over there in the corner. Could even put like a Batman costume on it so it doesn't look quite as bad.
Only plastic skeleton. Not a real one. That would be so creepy.
I can just about cope with a one-eyed Dorama doll watching over me, but that's all. Okay, now we've done
Yeah, but
it.
that's just a doll. Man, look how pale she is. She looks like she's dead. Oh, that's her name. So, you want to know about the forensic investigation team determined from its examination of the scene?
Okay.
The victim, Mr. Odious Man, who have disappeared from the experimental stage amid an explosion. And the Mr. Usman, who appeared moments later partway up the Crystal Tower, were without question one and the same person. That is the team's conclusion.
Huh? But that can't be right!
If it was an elaborate trick, we can only speculate about how it was carried out. Let's see, if two people looked very similar to each other were involved, they could have made it appear as if one single person had switched places, couldn't they? Very true, but sadly, in this instance, it was not the case. The man who disappeared and the man who subsequently reappeared was the same person. How would you know? The fingerprints on the scene make that quite evident.
Ah, fingerprints!
They're not yet officially recognized as forensic evidence in the British justice system, but one day they will be used as an investigative aid as a matter of course.
Oh, wow.
Oh my! But that would mean that the instantaneous kinesis that took place... Oh, so where does that leave us? Oh, that it was instantaneous kinesis. My team was tasked with investigating, not drawing conclusions. Oh, you seem kind of rude.
Instantaneous kinesis is impossible, and yet the body did move from one place to the other. This hasn't cleared anything up at all. It made the whole thing even more of a mystery.
I mean, there's a lot of ways you could get his fingerprints on there without actually having him be there.
Ah!
What?
Mama, what is this?
Ah, where did she, what is this? And did she just call the doctor Mama?
Oh, that's her. This is a lawyer, dear. Oh! Oh, wait. Oh my gosh.
Hello, nice to meet you, pleased to meet you.
It's...
Yes, I'm a defense lawyer, Ryunosuke Naruhodou. Ah.
Mama?
yes.
Can I cut this one up?
What?
I've never seen the inside of an Eastern person before. I want to know what it looks like.
Of course you can't. It's a live specimen, dear, as you can very well see.
Oh, boring.
I think I just had a near-death experience.
Oh dear, Mr. Naruhodo! You're as pale as a corpse!
Then let's leave before I'm mistaken for one!
Nightmare time. Her daughter's creepy.
Yeah.
That freaked me out.
That did. Why is she wearing a death mask? Like, from the Middle Ages.
Because they're insane.
So, what are you doing at the moment, Doctor?
Keeping a close eye on things, so no impertinent Easterners think they can look around my office without me seeing.
Are there such impertinent Easterners around? How terrible.
Yes, you.
Hurtful.
She doesn't mince her words. Oh, sorry.
She doesn't mince her words, does she, Susie?
No, she does not, Ryunosuke. I think perhaps it's time that we left.
Okay.
We're allowed to be here and investigate, lady.
Where did her daughter go?
So maybe you can just back off and let us look around, because you just said that the instantaneous kinesis thing worked, which is ridiculous. So you're the one who's questionable here. I'm just saying.
Height.
You just said that you can evaporate people through the air, which is completely unproven. Even in today's world, like, we're in the 2010s. I've never seen anyone do that. So this is the 1800s. There's no way.
Yeah. Alright, well, where do we go now? We can go to prison. We can go to...
OH says, let's get out of here before the masked girl comes back to dissect you.
I know, right? That's creepy.
That just took a left turn, says Nightwing Alex.
Yeah, it did.
Holy, says Dr. Mario. Kira's like, no, bird people, says Mage-Wolf.
The bird people are coming. The birdmen are coming. She's so soft. Love petting the kitty. What?
Yeah, this is 23rd of October, the Great Exhibition Grounds, foot of the Crystal Tower.
Look how soft she is. Feel. Isn't that nice?
We should make an Ace Attorney game about Zelda the cat.
Objects meow.
Objection!
You know what's funny, guys? Is Zelda didn't used to be a lap kitty. She was very proud, and she would always, like, lie down next to you. Like, she would be like, I don't want to sleep in your lap. And when Shadow went away, then Zelda, she stepped it up and became a lap kitty. So for six to 8 months now, she just, whenever we're live streaming, she just plops up and sits in one of our laps.
Mage-Wolf says, she's right behind you, Luke. Mwahaha.
It's so nice.
What's creepier, the mother or the daughter? I don't know, Shayna. Luke's taking a cat petting break.
Yep, cat petting break. She looks so happy.
Goki says, Zelda emoji.
Yep, Zelda emoji. Zelda hype.
Luke's sitting here petting his cat. Alright, I'll take a picture of her.
She looks so happy. Look at kitty. Great Exhibition Grounds, foot of the Crystal Tower. Oh, okay. Gina's here.
I had no idea there were so many people in the world.
I know what you mean. It's really packed up here today again, isn't it?
It feels as though it's taken us 2 hours just to make our way through the crowds to this point.
Has it? I shut my brain down, so I literally didn't notice, to be honest.
Gosh, I do wish I had your absence of mind sometimes, Mr. Naruhodo.
Why do I feel like that was a slight?
Oh, there you are. I had a feeling that you lot would show your mugs before long.
Oh,
it's him.
Inspector Gregson. I see you hard at work as usual.
Gina's got a puppy.
Warm greetings to you. I do hope you've been keeping well since we last met.
What's with all the ceremony? We just saw each other in the court this morning.
Not you, Sunshine, the gentlewoman so loyally at your side.
Oh, why, thank you, Inspector. How good of you to notice that I'm here.
He might be a bit rough around the edges, but he's still a proper English gentleman at heart, I suppose. You've already probably guessed, we're hoping to investigate the scene some more.
Right, well, that's the young trainee's domain. Oi, get over here, Gina!
He's playing with the puppy. She seems to be busy playing with a puppy, probably giving it a traditional East End training.
Gina? She's a police officer now?
Amazing, isn't it?
She's a good kid, actually. Heart's in the right place. Anyway, she's got the detection bug, if you ask me. Yep, I think she'll follow in my footsteps nicely.
What do you mean?
I'm being transferred. It's time for me to say toodle to old London.
Oh no, really?
That's a bit sudden, isn't it? I had no idea, sir. Where are you going to be posted then? We'll come to see you when you're getting along.
Aha! Not likely, but you're welcome to try. If you don't mind a trip to France, that is.
France?
I'll be working in the Paris police prefecture. Should be right up my alley.
But France? It's an entirely different country. I don't understand. Why would you be sent there?
That's the way the adult world works, sunshine. Now don't go poking your nose into where it's not wanted. I'm intending to take the kid with me when I go.
What? You're taking Gina to Paris?
Well, I can't leave her here in London. Who knows what would become of her?
I guess he's worried about she'd slip back into slipping her hands into people's pockets and purses again.
I don't think he's worried about her pickpocketing, Mr. Naruhodo. I think he's worried about the Reaper.
Oh, of course! So that's playing on Inspector Gregson's mind too, is it?
How did she read your mind again, though?
Anyway, I haven't mentioned any of this to Gina, so don't go blabbing, you hear me?
No, of course not. Oh, he's moving to Paris to keep her safe. That's very nice.
I've got to keep that diving diva safe and sound until this is all over, at least.
Oh.
Oi! Did you just call me a bloomin' diving diva again?
Ah, so you heard that, did you? Right, well, any questions about the scene, you can put them to my capable detective diva here.
Alright, you heard the boss. Inspector Lestrade's in charge here now.
I really like what they did with Inspector Lestrade. That's a nice twist on the Sherlock Holmes thing.
Yeah.
And it makes sense, like, from how they did it, too. Very clever. I suppose I better keep my word and not mention anything about Paris, though. So, Gina, you've got a new dog, have you? It's so cute!
Isn't he great? Toby's his name.
Oh, how delightful! He's absolutely adorable!
Yes, the dog does seem lovely. But I'm more of a cat person. It's not so lovely Inspector Gregson's that's playing on my mind, to be honest, though. Okay, so I guess we talked to Gina about everything. Oh, we can talk about the dog. Investigating the scene.
Nothing like toast with jam. Definitely Christina.
So, Gina, we were actually hoping that we could investigate the scene again?
Yeah, alright. If it's around here, you can do what you like.
Oh, that's alright, isn't it?
I'm gonna be playing with my new friend here and all.
Ah, yes, Toby. Woof.
The machine that exploded must be at the top of those stairs, I presume. I haven't actually seen it yet, so if you don't mind, Mr.
Sorry, you can't go up there, Suze. Oh! It's like I told Odo yesterday. Even I ain't allowed near that wreck. What's it called again? The reason we ain't supposed to touch it, the
Special Dispensation of Scientific Equipment Act? Is that what you were thinking of?
Right, that's the one. That's what only them lot are allowed to investigate. What are they called again? The forensic something?
Forensic Investigation Team? Is that what you were thinking of, Gina?
That's the one! Yeah. All right.
But isn't it the case that the special dispensation has been lifted then?
I think so, but I don't really get it, to be truthful with ya. You're supposed to get permission from some bigwig or other, as far as I know. What was his name again? Right. Oh, Lord Strang. Something strange.
I'm not sure that's quite right, Gina. I think you mean Lord Strongheart, perhaps.
Oh, right, that's the one, yeah. Apparently he's always watching the time or something like that.
Actually, we just recently have been to see Lord Strongheart.
You what? You met him? Last time the boss was called to go and see him. He waited for 3 hours at the Cove's office and came back sniveling.
Tragic.
Well, Lord Strongheart has given us permission to examine the scene as long as we touch nothing.
Okay.
He did?
Oh, yeah?
Honestly, yeah. Oh,
Alright then, okay, go ahead. But if it turns out that you're lying to me, it'll be the boss who gets it. He'll never eat another chip again in his life. So, you're still saying all this is above the board, are ya? I'm sure everything will be fine, Gina.
That really would be tragic, though. He loves his fish and chips.
Alright then, them's the stairs. Off you go. Okay, thank you, Gina.
Alright, let's keep talking about... I want to know about the dog. Where did you find that little mutt then, Gina?
Oi! Don't be so flaming rude, Odo.
Slight overreaction, don't you think, there, Gina?
He ain't no mutt, alright. Toby's, how did you put it? Oh, yeah. A bona fide detective mutt.
Sorry?
I've given him a proper title and everything. It's Chief Inspector Toby to you.
More senior than Inspector Gregson, is he? Wow.
Right. Oh, he's a police dog then, is he?
The police recruit dogs now?
I've heard that they're already being used officially in Germany as part of their city policing. They're used for chasing criminals and such like. They have a wonderful sense of smell after all.
A fairly good sense of smell myself, as it happens. I can tell undergarments that have been freshly laundered from undergarments that haven't.
That's amazing. Ha! That's nothing compared to this old fella, Odo.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh. According to what the boss said, once Toby has got a good whiff of your drawers, he could chase that scent to the other side of the world.
Nani?
Picture!
To the other side of the world, you mean? Okay.
So cute. I'm sorry. I just thought it was cute.
No, it's fine.
Yeah, to the other side of the world, that's right.
Nothing's cuter than this face, though.
Luke is in a petting mood. Luke
She's
is in
so
a petting mood.
soft. I don't even need my cape today. It's nice and warm. He can swim?
Mr. Naruhodo,
Huh?
I think you may have missed the point by rather a wide margin.
Say what now? I just can't believe this little dog has such an incredible skill.
I'm telling you, Odo, there's gonna be more than and more dogs doing their bit for the police in the future. Yes, I agree, Gina. Right. One of these days, they'll be barking orders at us lot, not the other way around.
Okay.
Oh dear, sorry, Gina. I just don't think I agree with your vision quite that much. Well, anyway, whatever you think about that, Toby here is Britain's first police dog. I found him down the East End the other day. Someone had just chucked him out on the street.
There you go. I knew she'd lifted him from somewhere.
Oh, Gina, you're such a kind-hearted soul, aren't you? To children and to animals.
Okay, today's trial, and then we're gonna go investigate the machine.
It was great, wasn't it? I had a right laugh. It was a new one on me, it was. You know, being in court and not spending the whole time worrying about how I'm going to be found out. Oh, you did keep an awful lot of secrets in all your previous court appearances, didn't you, Gina? Yeah, and Odo's made things hard for me every single time, you know?
Just doing my job, Gina.
But watching someone else get it in the neck is a lot of fun, actually. It was amazing when you showed that dodgy professor's dodgy experiment was a total fix. The dodgy professor, as you put it, Gina, is Mr. Naruhodo's client.
Yeah, I'm starting to wish he wasn't, though.
It's the boss I feel sorry for, sent off to do the impossible. What do you mean, Gina? He's supposed to arrest that other cove, ain't he? And in time for tomorrow and all. You know, the dodgy engineer. What's his name again? Mr.
Drebber? You mean Enoch Drebber?
Ah, that's right. That's the one, yeah.
So the police are looking for this mysterious man with the black monocle. I guess they would be.
It's putting too much on the boss if you ask me. He says it's giving him gut ache.
Gut ache?
Oh dear, but I do wonder if that's actually from all the fried food.
Yeah! The engineer's whereabouts. Da-da-da. So Scotland Yard are trying to track down Mr. Enoch Drebber, right? I wonder if they've had any luck so far.
He's really funny looking. Got 2 eyes. What don't match? Stole a glimpse of a picture of him earlier. I mean, I didn't exactly pinch it or nothing. The old devil's got it.
Sorry? Who?
You know, that scowling reaper what's always glugging down glasses of that blood-red plonk. Oh, Lord Van Zeeks. He's always at it in for me, that cove. Dunno what he's always scowling about, mind you. Probably would have been a pretty good boss as it goes.
She'd rather be the Reaper's apprentice than a detective's trainee. The way I see it, if the choice is between a chip-guzzling detective and a chalice-guzzling demigod, you're equally badly off with both.
Ah, I suppose you're right. I hadn't thought of it like that.
Glad we put that one to bed.
Anyway, the point is, everyone at the yard's dead set on finding this guy, but there don't seem to be no clues to go on.
There's nothing that can lead us to Drebber at all then, huh? Alright, so we've talked to Gina about everything. Whoopsies!
Man, someone's being weird outside.
That's
Look at
the neighbor.
Battle guy says, look at the dog's scarf. Here's the scorching on the ground that you mentioned, Ryunosuke.
Yep, and that's what's left of the green balloon's envelope, too. All clear evidence of a balloon that exploded on the day of the incident.
Poor Professor Hairbrain. I do feel sorry for him that his dreams have been shattered like this.
Someone well and truly burst his bubble, as it were. Ha 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 ha. Ouch, I'm a bad person.
Burst his bubble.
Wow.
Oh, I'm so sorry you're watching from your hospital room, Princess Luca. I hope that you feel better, and we'll definitely keep you in our thoughts and prayers. What a shame that the symbolic landmark of the Great Exhibition has been damaged like that.
Yeah, unfortunately, the birdcage crashed in the most prominent position possible. It's the gods giving us a warning, if you ask me. Man must travel under his own steam and not cut corners with instantaneous kinesis.
But imagine what might have happened if the birdcage had landed in a slightly different location.
That's true.
The death toll could have been far worse.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true. So I think perhaps it was a blessing in disguise.
Well, the gods are benevolent, obviously. I did say it was just a warning. Man must travel under his own steam, or next time birdcages will rain down on all of you.
Your faith is much stronger than I realized, Ryunosuke.
Well, how do you think I passed the entrance exam for the Yumi University? It wasn't by studying alone.
Praying.
Praying. I like that. That was kind of nice.
But how are they going to fix all that glass? Like, hopefully they can repair it.
I don't know.
Ah, the Crystal Tower. I can't believe I'm seeing it at such close proximity with my own eyes.
You've never actually been looking forward. You've really been looking forward to the great exhibition, haven't you, Miss Susie?
Oh, yes. When I found out that I had to return to Japan, I'm afraid I cursed my luck.
But here you are, back in London, gazing up at the magnificent tower.
I know. Perhaps I was wrong to curse my luck so harshly. Yeah, someone was wondering, so his name is the Reaper? Yeah, people call him the Reaper, but it's not quite confirmed that he's actually the one killing people. Like, people die after he does a case with them, but it's not always, I don't think that he's actually the one doing it.
These stairs lead up to the experimentation stage. Let's go see what we can find out.
But yes, people are afraid of Van Zeeks and they call him the Reaper. 23rd of October, the Great Exhibition grounds. Experimentation stage.
Yep. Oh my gosh.
Oh my! So this is the machine that was just used to deceive people into thinking instantaneous kinesis had taken place. A pretty big machine for that.
Yeah, that's right. Or rather, it was the machine. It's a little worse for wear at the moment.
What extraordinary lengths Professor Hairbrain went in order to obtain this research grant.
Yep. No. The professor was tricked as well. He didn't know anything about this.
Oh, yes, of course. It is amazing, though, isn't it? The scale of this whole affair is so very British.
You're right about that. You'd never see such a grand deception in Japan, that's for sure.
Oh, look! Is that...
Oh,
Van Zeeks.
Lord Van Zeeks?
Lord Van Zeeks.
Huh. So, I think we're more or less done here, aren't we? Shall we, Miss Susie?
Already?
Yeah, he is the Reaper, remember? We'll do well to keep our distance, I think.
But we have permission to be here from the top. We're perfectly well allowed to investigate this machine, as long as we don't touch anything.
From the top? Do you mean Lord Strongheart?
Exactly. So we can stay here and stare at this wreckage as long as we like.
She couldn't have been at the center of the explosion here and wouldn't have been bent her steel... Well, she could have been at the center of the explosion here and it wouldn't have bent her steel will. Okay.
Oh, awesome. Cool, Princess Emmy. You're back from shopping. Very cool.
Dun, 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 dun.
Naruhodo is weird. Possibly.
Yep.
Real smooth Ryunosuke, says OH. What a terrible explosion that it must have been. Even the steel girders have buckled and twisted in the blast. Yeah, it must have been a huge explosion.
Totes. And what they call the bird cage was right in the middle of it all, just here. Interesting.
But look, Mr. Naruhodo, the metal grill on the floor. Looks as though it's designed to open.
It does, doesn't it? If the floor had opened at the precise moment of the explosion had occurred, the birdcage could have dropped through and disappeared from sight.
I don't think there's any doubt that this was a very elaborate hoax, is there? Interesting. So they could have hidden the birdcage.
They could have hidden the birdcage inside the grill thing.
It could even still be in there.
Fascinating.
Like, no one has been here since the explosion.
They were counting on that scientific thing from preventing them from checking it out, I think.
Yeah. Oh, isn't it exhilarating? All this different architecture from all corners of the world.
I mean, obviously, I think that Ryunosuke was correct, like yesterday, when he said that the body was hidden inside the balloon. When the balloon exploded, it fell directly into the crystal tower.
Yeah, but why did... I feel like that lady is in on it because she said, oh, his fingerprints were in the birdcage. It's like, well... But there's no way that he could have...
Yeah, if they ran a practice thing before actually doing it.
Yeah, that's true. Like, if he actually practiced
He was probably inside the birdcage at one point, yeah.
And then they killed him after the practice thing.
It does make you feel a bit like an explorer, doesn't it, Susie? I know it's all subjective, but the onion-shaped roofs have rather caught my attention personally.
It is very subjective, isn't it?
Japanese buildings with their wood and paper construction have excellent ventilation. And I've realized that British buildings being made from brick and stone are very strong and long-lasting. The more you know about how things are done in other countries, the more you understand your own, I feel.
Oh yes, I do agree with you there, Ryunosuke.
But I can't help wondering what an onion does for the roof of a building. I mean, I suppose it's playing on my mind because I don't like the taste of onions.
You really oughtn't to let your taste in vegetables dictate your taste in roofs, Mr. Naruhodo.
What? Okay, so that Russian consulate or something like that? I don't know. Anything else for us to look at? Ah, there's the birdcage. This wasn't here yesterday.
Really? But if I'm not mistaken, it's the cage in which the victim was standing before he was apparently beamed through the air.
That's right, the bird cage. According to what Professor Hairbrain said in court, it's made of wood.
Or more precisely, Japanese cypress, I think. And despite having been in an explosion and then falling from a great height, it's relatively unharmed. A wonderfully durable construction, wouldn't you say, Mr. Naruhodo?
I'd understand that the forensic investigation team had taken it away yesterday to examine it. I suppose they must have brought it back here when they finished their work.
But sadly, not with the body inside it.
No, that's right. They wouldn't have the body still inside. I know we're given strict instructions not to touch anything, but still. This is too important of a piece of evidence to overlook. We might need it for the trial. The bird cage from the machine has been entered into the court record? How did you grab the bird cage?
I don't know. I hear that a ride on the Ferris wheel is a favorite romantic outing among young London couples, Ryunosuke.
I think romance would be slightly, spoiled by the abject terror, personally, but then I'm not a Londoner.
Yeah, in modern English you would say spoiled, but I guess back then they said spoiled. I don't know. I guess they're using Old English, I don't know. Are you a little scared of heights, Mr. Naruhodo?
It's not that I'm scared, not at all. It's just that staying on the ground seems so much safer.
Well, perhaps I shall have to ask Iris and Mr. Sholmes to accompany me in that case. I'll do her little giggle.
When you put it like that, part of me does want to give it a try if I'm going inside with you.
Aww. Oh dear. It is complicated for you, isn't it, Naruhodo?
Yes, it is, because I have a fear of heights. Actually, I have a fear of heights in real life, so...
Well, they're not Old English, but older English, that's what I meant to say.
Whoops.
I mean, English from the 1800s would have sounded a little bit different.
Yeah.
What a terrible explosion! Even the steel girders have buckled and twisted in the blast.
Yep, and what of the bird cage?
But look, Mr. Naruhodo, that metal grill on the floor. It looks as though it's designed to open.
It does, doesn't it? If the floor had opened at the precise moment the explosion occurred, the bird cage could have dropped through and disappeared from sight.
I don't think there's any doubt that this was a very elaborate hoax, is there? Yes, if they were speaking old English, they'd sound like Shakespeare, yeah, definitely. Wherefore art thou, bird cage? Look at that horn-shaped transmitting device. Isn't it amazing?
That's exactly what I thought when I first saw it, too.
It makes you think, doesn't it? If only it had just been a normal horn,
Ow.
none of this would have even happened.
That's almost exactly what I thought as well, Susie. I bet I can predict what you're gonna say next in that case. You're about to say, nothing ever goes to plan, aren't you?
Oh, no! I would never say something like that!
Really?
I feel like you would, though, Susie.
Yeah.
I mean, so much work went into this for just a scam. It's just... I mean, they wanted the research grant, but it's like... They could have paid...
However much I look at them, I can't come to terms with those tamari handbar things floating in the sky. Yeah.
You've been glaring at them constantly since we came up here.
Oh, I'm sorry. The feelings of wanting to ride in one and wanting never to set foot in one are all fighting me out in the inside.
But if you don't look where you're walking, you might fall from the stage. Ryunosuke.
I don't think I noticed that's how fiercely the battle inside me is raging right now.
I think you should make peace with riding in one, Mr. Naruhodo. It would really be much safer that way for you. That way you wouldn't fall when she's so weird. I feel like Susie's a little bit controlling, to be honest.
She's fun, though.
Yeah, but she's always telling you what to do. Like, she's always saying, you really need to do this. It's like...
I mean, not to generalize, but there are a lot of women like that.
Yeah, but it doesn't make it right. Like,
No, it doesn't necessarily make it right, but I'm just saying, uh-oh.
Like, he can kind of do whatever he wants. Like, he doesn't have to do
Uh-oh,
it.
the least approachable man in the world, winner 10 years in a row!
Be strong, Mr. Naruhodo! Your country and your assistant stand firm behind you!
Lord Van Zeeks?
What do you want? Oh dear. What is it? Well... Beautiful weather we're having, isn't it? I thought I was making it quite clear that I didn't want to be disturbed. Apparently, you Nipponese are unequipped to read the signs. Oh, I read them! So, what are you doing here? Entry to this area is prohibited. Ah, well, the thing is,
Lord Chief Justice Strongheart granted us permission to investigate, on the condition that we didn't disturb anything.
And yet you've managed to disturb me! Ah! Never mind. State your business then.
Come to think of it, there are quite a few things I'd like to ask Lord Van Zieks about.
There is?
Not least of which is that awful case, even though it's nothing to do with this one.
Ask away, Mr. Naruhodo. You won't know unless you try.
Okay. Let's make things awkward. Let's talk about your dead brother. So, Clint.
What?
Was the name of your older brother, I understand, Lord Van Zieks?
Wow.
You Nipponese, I always have to be on guard whenever you're around. So, you've been investigating me, have you?
Oh, no. It's not like that. Well, alright, it is a bit like that, but,
I don't care. My older brother was also a prosecutor. He was the pride of the Van Zieks family. But tragically, a vicious killer took him from us.
The professor, you mean?
Yes.
Is something the matter? Is something funny?
That's the extent of what you've discovered, is it? I shouldn't be surprised.
Sorry? There's more to it then?
Lackluster work is very much your trademark, isn't it?
You're too kind? Are you gonna tar all Japanese with the same brush next?
So tell me, what is your interest in that historic incident?
As it happens, Lord Van Zieks, there's a rather curious case that comes to our attention.
What is it?
Are you aware of the Madame Tuspel's Museum of Waxwork by any chance?
I am, naturally. I believe that since last month I featured in one of the displays there for public scorn.
Of course, the infamous Reaper of the Bailey would have to be exhibited, wouldn't he?
Well, a particular waxwork has been stolen from the place and held for ransom.
A particular wax figure, which... Wait, you mean...
Yes, it's the professor. Mr. Sholmes is investigating the case as we speak.
I was unaware of that.
He's turned as white as a sheet. More than usual.
Wait, which professor was stolen?
The wax figure of the professor, the killer of London.
Wait. Oh, right. Mr.
Yeah.
Moriarty.
Yeah, Moriarty, exactly.
Or whatever professor was a killer professor, yeah. Professor Moriarty.
Are the police trying to locate the engineer, Mr. Drebber, already?
Or I think it's Professor Moriarty.
Surely that goes without saying.
We're very keen to see him found as well, actually. The trouble is, we don't have much to go on aside from the description of the man we heard in court earlier.
Which, according to Professor Hairbrain, was of a tall, thin gentleman who has a straight white hair and wears a black monocle.
So, I was just wondering, I mean, I realize it's probably not possible, but,
We very much appreciate any more clues that you can give us, Mr. Van Zieks.
Wow, Susie! Really knows how to take the bull by the horns, doesn't she?
Yep. She's pretty cool.
Fine, why not? I have a photograph of the man here from an investigation 10 years ago. Though it appears he already had the black monocle at the time.
Oh, wow.
But
Oh, nothing. I was just surprised that you shared this with us.
With all the need of the man's testimony in court tomorrow, which means we have to do everything we can possibly do to track him down in the short time available. So why wouldn't I show you the photograph?
What is it about Lord Van Zeeks anyway? Sometimes I just can't work him out at all. Like, at all. The photograph of Drebber has been added into the court record. So that was from 10 years ago, huh? Okay.
Ah!
The file I requested for the trial tomorrow. Thank you, my, assistant.
Assassin's Creed.
Are you alright, Susie?
Who is that man, Mr. Naruhodo?
Lord Van Zeek's apprentice, apparently. So I'm not the only one, huh? Susie can see it too.
Lord Van Zeeks, may we speak with your apprentice for a moment?
Why? With him? Why?
Oh, never mind. What?
Kazuma-sama! Oh my gosh, what?
No way!
Oh my gosh, what?
Kazuma? I don't believe it!
Your posture, your presence, it can only be, it's you, isn't it, Kazuma-sama?
I felt something strange the very first time I encountered this cloaked figure. As if I knew him somehow. Can it really be you, Kazuma?
He's not gonna save it, son.
Wait! Too late.
Oh my gosh.
What's going on here?
Oh my gosh, this is so
Your
weird.
apprentice.
What is your interest in my apprentice exactly? You act as if you know the man or something.
Well,
Since when has he been in your care? I don't recall you having an apprentice before I left Britain 6 months ago.
Lord Strongheart introduced me to him about 3 months ago now, with instructions to mentor him as a prosecutor.
But he didn't tell you why, did he?
No! The man appears to be suffering from amnesia. It's Kazuma. He's forgotten every last bit of details about himself.
He has amnesia?
Yes, tomorrow he will appear in court at my side.
What?
He's to serve as my judicial assistant on Lord Strongheart's orders.
He'll be in court with us?
Now then, unless I am much mistaken, I believe this conversation has run its course.
Yes, thank you. Wow, left just like that. I definitely saw a reaction there. Oh, Susie's crying. When Susie-san called out like that, it really seemed like it hit a nerve.
Uh-oh.
But if Kazuma's back, what does that mean for me and Susie?
It's over, Ryunosuke!
No!
His jaws were chiseled, and he's way... he has just a lot more stuff going to for him.
Well, Zelda, your ship has sunk.
I mean, his arm muscles, it's over, Ryunosuke.
It's over.
It's over.
When she called out to Kazuma, my heart sank. I mean, I'm so happy my friend's alive.
Oh, your friend zone now, Ryunosuke.
Well, that's it.
It's over. You'd already met that masked man, hadn't you, Mr. Naruhodo?
Yeah, yesterday, in fact, I did, at Lord Van Zeek's office.
Oh, I see.
Oh, the love triangle begins.
Let's see. Things that Kazuma has that Ryunosuke doesn't. Number 1, Susie's heart. And if Kazuma-sama really is still alive, it means that Mr. Sholmes lied to us.
I know. We're gonna need to speak to him about that.
You're going to have to leave now. Huh? The forensic investigation team are due to arrive shortly. If they find you here, it will cause problems.
What sort of problems?
Foreign affairs problems.
Well, we could do without that. Alright, we'll be on our way then. Let's go, Miss Susie.
Okay, friend. Of course.
No!
Friendzone!
But you came back because you missed me. Curse you, Kazuma!
I knew there was a reason I came back to England. Now I know.
Darn it. Investigating the scene.
Why do birds
no, stop it.
suddenly appear
Stop it!
when Kazuma is near? Okay.
No.
Yeah, right, I agree. I guess Simon's, if Ryunosuke had a little bit more backbone wanting to try new things, Susie wouldn't have to push him.
Gina, we were actually hoping that you could investigate the scene again.
Yeah, alright. If it's around here, you can do what you like.
Oh, that's alright, is it?
I'm gonna be playing with my new friend here. I mean, Inspector.
Ah, yes, Toby.
Chief Inspector Toby to you.
Woof woof.
Apparently, we can't look around on the stage now because the forensic investigation team are at work. Can't you do anything, Gina, in your capacity as Inspector Lestrade?
Well, I don't have the authority, but Chief Inspector Toby, the dog, might.
Puppy, can we look more at the scene?
Woof.
Look, I'd like to help you out, but I have to get the approval of the dog. But I'm just a trainee, ain't I? I ain't nothing I could do.
When it suits you, yes.
You can always ask the dog here.
Everyone wants to play with Toby. I want to play with Toby too, says Battle Guy. Toby's working, Battle Guy.
Alright. Yeah, Toby's working.
Hey, Brittany, Luna. Hey, Nintendo Lover Girl. Hi, Joanna. Hey, everyone. Hey,
I guess
Ronan.
let's go to the prison.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Kazuma-sama's alive.
Oh my gosh! What did he do?
He's trying to figure out why his experiment didn't work. He's obsessed.
23rd of October, local prison cell number 11.
Honestly, I would just be sleeping and trying to de-stress, but this guy is just...
What is he doing?
He doesn't care about his own life. He only cares about the experiment.
He's... Oh my! The whole wall of the cell is covered in mathematical equations.
And he's still writing more now? Professor! Sorry to interrupt, but... Ah! Mr. Naruhodo! And who is this young lady? She is quite the Fraulein.
Well, I'm taken, twice.
Love triangle between me and my dead friend, apparently!
My name is, Susato Mikotoba. I'm Mr. Naruhodo's judicial assistant. It's a pleasure to meet you, Professor.
Oh, you are such a vision of loveliness. Oh my, if only I'd met a refined young woman like you sooner.
Oh my.
None of this would have happened. No, that is not logical. That makes no sense at all.
Oh dear, I'm sorry if my presence here upsets you. Thanks for the super chat, Ronan.
What does it say, the super
It
chat?
says, let me see. It says, come on, Runo, you can do it. You can win Kazuma's heart. What? Kazudo forever? What? No, he wants to win Susato's heart.
She came all the way back to Japan for him.
Thanks, Runo.
Britain.
Thanks, Ronan. You're breathtaking.
Okay.
Yeah, we believe in Ryunosuke can win Susie's heart.
Oh dear, I'm sorry if my presence here upsets you.
I owe you an apology too, Professor. I didn't manage to deliver what I promised you I would in the court this morning. Oh, no, not at all. No. The whole thing is miserable affair. It all happened because I've been such a complete and utter fool. A clout.
Professor Hairbrain? What have you been working on in your cell?
Oh, this? Aha! Oh, aha! You mean that? Oh dear, how embarrassing. I was suddenly struck by an idea, you see, and I simply had to jot it down. The VAR was all I had to work on with, yes. Oh, is that some new hypothesis? Something to surpass super high voltage instantaneous kinesis, maybe? No, actually, this is, my autobiography.
Your autobiography?
What? How I was diddled and fiddled by Albert Herbane. I found I can represent my odd fortunes with only odd numbers in ambitious set of stimulus equations. What?
Really?
I'm going to have to pay back all the loans I took for the kinesis machine, you see. So it's going to be a new serial publication from next month. Part 1, an odd birth, an odd upbringing. You can't beat the man's optimism, that's for sure. I see. Well, for now, would you mind if we talked a little bit more about the case in question? Oh, yes, of course. I've been working through the numbers. I was diddled, I was fiddled, the pair of them. By Asmund and by the aloof engineer Drebber. We're not gonna have to sit through an explanation of all these equations, I hope. Are we?
Maybe.
Probably. Alright, let's talk to this guy. Actually, can we... Whoa. Go back. Can we examine... No, you can't examine anything. You just have to talk to him. This morning's trial. Everything I believed in has been turned on its head. My research, Mr. Asmund, the kinesis machine. My hypothesis, even. I'm sorry it's come down to this. There was really no other way, though. No, it's not your fault. I wanted to protect my work, and in the end, there was nothing worth protecting. Ouch.
Whoa.
It was never my intention to deceive anyone. I didn't want to trick the public.
No, of course you didn't.
But in court this morning, I realized something. Oh? Yes, if you've done something wrong without knowing it, you're still done something wrong logically. It makes no difference if you're aware of it or not. Ignorance is a poor excuse. The blame still lies with me.
Oh, Professor!
He believed in me this morning, you know. Bork did. He believed in my hypothesis. Well, I think that was just a necessary factor in the prosecution establishing its case, actually. No. Barak wouldn't do something like that. I'm sure he believed it. Did he? I didn't understand it now. I think it was that he decided to take on the prosecution in my trial, I mean. Huh? Van Zeke's motivation, what do you mean by that? After all the terrible accident happened, nobody would believe in my hypothesis anymore. Not the police, not the prosecution service, not the lawyers, even... I feel like I dealt with some kind of finishing blow there. So, if there was any other prosecutor had taken the case, it wasn't other than Barak. I'm sure the prosecution would have declared my hypothesis a complete and utter nonsense.
And in that case, you would have been declared a fraud yourself, Professor.
Exactly, which would have been the fate worse than death for me. But Barak insisted that I was a proper man of science from start to finish. You think that's why he, I know him very well indeed. He's an extremely kind-hearted soul.
Oh, but that extremely kind-hearted soul spent all morning trying to paint you as a murderer, didn't he?
Well, admittedly, that part of the analysis appears to have some flaws in it, yes. And what about the whole Reaper side of things, eh? How does that fit with the kind-hearted soul idea? Explain that to me. Mr. Asman. Do you think, he set out to trick me from the very start? I'm sorry to say that does seem likely, yes. Oh. When I first met him, he introduced himself as a wealthy financier. He looked over the papers I'd written and said my work would benefit all humanity and must be pursued. He was so enthused, he was apathetic. But in reality, he was the mastermind of some very vast criminal network, it seems.
Yep.
I still don't believe it.
That's why you should be careful of people that flatter you.
Also be careful of people giving you a lot of money.
as the machine was essentially a set decoration for some stage magic. It probably didn't require a large amount of investment, actually.
Oh, but the scale of it wasn't just some small trick, though. It was a very elaborate feat of deception. All young scientists are full of hope about their begrudging ideas, full of zeal. But none of us have any money. We want to research, but we can't afford it. Many of us take on barely legal part-time work by trying to earn just a measly pennies to carry on.
Barely legal.
Barely legal work, alright. To go through all that only to be taken for a complete fool, it's rotten to believe. It is, I agree. And that's why we've come to find those responsible and bring them to justice, you see. Mr. Asman is no more, of course, which leaves only the engineer.
Mr. Enoch Drebber!
That's right. Mr. Drebber. Okay, Zelda, you're making me a little... I know, I'm sorry. Let's see if she stays over there. He's the engineer or magician, or is he a swindler? It is about a year ago now that Mr. Asman first brought Drebber to meet me at my laboratory. Since then, I've met him many times to discuss on details about the kinesis machine. But at no point did he have any inkling that he was just an illusionist? Oh, he definitely wasn't an illusionist. What do you mean? He was a wealth of deep scientific knowledge. There's no question that the man's genuine scientist... There's no question that the man's a genuine... No question that the man is... What?
That the man is a genuine scientist.
It doesn't say that, though. It says no question that the man's a genuine scientist. Okay.
Yeah.
There's no question that the man's a genuine scientist. It's instantly apparent in conversation. I see.
It's okay, honey.
Blah, blah, blah.
But the wretched man deceived you, Professor. It's unforgivable. We must do everything we can to find him and bring him to justice. There's no more clues you can give us to his whereabouts?
Oh my gosh, Susie. I'm sorry, we only discussed the kinesis machine, nothing else. Although, just once, I did visit his workshop. What? His workshop? Drebber's enormous fabrication laboratory where he constructed my great machine. That's kind of a big deal to us. Why didn't you mention this before? Enoch Drebber's workshop. There's every chance we might find the man there. Get him. So you've been to Drebber's place of work before then? Yes, just once, you understand. It was an enormous place, plenty of room to construct the kinesis machine, you see. Where can we find it? We have to go there at once. There's a chance we'll find Drebber there. Well, yes, definitely. I'm sure, as in, I'm sure you're not going to want to hear this. But I have absolutely no idea where the workshop is at all. I'm so sorry. I was more than half expecting that at this point. You'll see, I was blindfolded in the carriage the entire way there. He blindfolded you? He wasn't taking any chances then, now was he? The place was incredible, the pinnacle of modern engineering. Even the oil he used was the very best, a special French machine oil that's impossible to order in Britain. The indescribable scent of that imported oil. Performers across the world should forget their secret formula and use that instead. What do you think, Miss Susie, about the machine for your next birthday?
I've never used any kind of perfume, Mr. Naruhodo. I'm not sure I'd like to start with that. I think it's called Eau de Machine. I don't know. I don't suppose you know even part of the workman's address, Professor. You don't have a business card for Mr. Drebber, for example?
The man was clearly very cautious, Susie. Yes, I do. He gave me his business card once. It's right here, look. What? Let me see that.
Let me see it.
Throw etiquette to the wind, why don't you?
Hiya! Susato takedown.
Through the bars.
Business card takedown. Enoch Drebber, engineer. I'm afraid that's all it says here. There's no address.
No. Oh, well, I can't say I'm surprised. This guy's really shady. Still, this could be useful, right? Drebber's card has been added into the court record. Okay. Well, I mean, that's everything we have for him.
Is this on PS4? It is.
PS5.
We're playing it on PS5. I don't know if it's also on PS4.
Switch, Xbox, Steam.
It's on Switch, Xbox, Steam, and PS5. And
We were actually surprised that Capcom gave us this copy for the PS5 because they normally give us Switch games. So I mean, you know, I like the ability to play the Switch on the go. I really like the system. So okay, we got Drebber's card.
All right.
Okay. Let's go to... Does he have anything else to tell us? No.
Drebber is sus, Rebecca. Definitely. Yep, and... Yeah, this guy seems nuttier than a fruitcake. Definitely, Ronan. Well, I mean, he's passionate about his work. Great to see you guys. Brittany, Luna, Ronan... Brooks, hello Akira, says E equals MC squared, definitely. Hey Cammy, hi Simons, great to see you Nana Kiamino, hi Battle Guy Plays, great to see you Billy Sandifer.
There's something on the back of the card. This dark smudge here.
I think perhaps it's machine oil.
Ah yes, possibly Professor Hairbrain mentioned something about the oil Drebber used, didn't he? He said it was specifically imported, very high quality oil that's impossible to obtain in Britain.
Yes, that's right, but more importantly,
that it's more fragrant than the finest perfume. So excuse me a moment. Oh, it doesn't appear to have any scent at all.
Don't worry, I expect that's just because there's such a tiny amount of it here. Detail of Drebber's card has been updated in the court record. Maybe... Hey, Gina, about this.
Yeah? I'm still learning my letters at the moment. I only know A to E, so there ain't too much bleeding trouble.
Actually, Gina, it's the back of the card that's important, though.
Eh? How come? There's just a dirty old smudge on the back, that's all.
It turns out that this is a very high-quality French machine oil. It has a very particular scent, apparently.
You don't say. Well, let's have a whiff, then.
Maybe have the dog sniff it?
Yeah, I think that's what Susie wanted.
You sure? I don't smell nothing at all.
No, we didn't mean that you should smell it.
Oh, right. Ah, you mean Chief Inspector Toby the dog. Here you go, Inspector Toby.
Bark! His sense of smell is so good he can track people all over the oceans, can't he? That's what they're assuming.
Professor Hairbrain informs us that this oil is unique to Mr. Drebber's workshop.
Nope. Sniff, 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 sniff. Bark! I think he's picked up on the scent.
So you mean if he follows the scent of this oil, Toby can lead us to that dodgy co's workshop?
That's right! That's exactly what we're hoping!
I mean, is that really gonna work?
Alright then, we'll give it a go. I'll just borrow that.
What? Wait! When did you... She used her pickpocket ability.
Thank you very much. If I can lead everyone to that Mr. Drebber's workshop, I'll be the boss's boss before next week. Oh yes, Gina.
I'm sure you'll be promoted.
Poor Gregson.
Gregson. All right then, Odo. Leave it to me. And
Sorry?
Toby, we're gonna get going after that dodgy engineer code right this minute. Oh, hang on. Someone's supposed to be on guard duty here all the time.
I'm afraid we can't help you. We need to get on with our investigation as well, Gina.
Oh, right. Oh, well, never mind then. It ain't gonna be me what gets in the neck. It'll be the boss that gets it for me leaving.
Poor Gregson again.
I'm sure he'll be fine. Ready, Toby? Got that oil sent, have you? Come on then, boy. See you later.
Bye.
Woof.
Bark!
Bark. Woof.
I do hope the scent of that oil leads them to the swindler's workshop. But once she gets there, won't she get killed or something? Because there'll be
she's got
evil people
Toby.
there.
I hope so too. Ideally before the dog swims across the channel to France.
Yeah. What if this workshop is in France?
I still think we've done all the investigating we can here for now. If we just determine the whereabouts of Mr. Drebber...
I'm sure Gina and little Toby won't let us down.
Okay.
Oh, now then. Do you think we ought to try to speak with Mr. Sholmes at this point? We have things to discuss, and I'm dying to meet him again after all these months.
Yeah, it's quite possible he might know something about, useful. You're right. We ought to find him at Madame Tuspel's. He's supposed to be working there as a temporary wax figure.
Yes, Iris told me about all this latest unusual adventure.
Okay.
I mean, about his latest unusual adventure.
Okay.
Dun, 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 dun. 23rd of October, Madame Tuspel's Museum of Waxworks, which is a real place. It's Tuspel's or something in London. It's a real...
But it really does exist?
Yeah, I tried to show you that last time, but you were like...
Oh.
You were too tired to... let me see. It's really famous.
Oh, okay. We're just waiting on Susie.
I know. Madame Tuspel. London. Wait. Show you it.
Amber's looking up something on her phone.
Madame Tussauds is what it's really called.
Okay.
And there's the Madame Tussauds. And then, actually, there's one in... They have different ones in the United States, but the original one is from London.
Okay.
So, yeah. Oh my! No wonder it's called the House of Horrors. I'd like to turn on my heels and go straight home via the confectionery.
Being scared makes you crave sweets. I can understand that, Susie.
But, you know, there's something about that waxwork over there.
It's not a waxwork.
It looks exactly like Mr. Sholmes, down to the very last detail. Amazing!
Aha!
What is it?
Oh, sorry. I think you'll find that's the temporary wax figure himself. Uh-oh.
Ah, the friend of my dedicated employee.
Oh, yes. Hello again. It's Ryunosuke. Ryunosuke Naruhodou. Hello.
Ah, I must say, I'm quite spellbound by the great detective. He is a marvel.
Oh, my.
Ah, my precious waxwork is already back where it belongs.
You don't mean...
Yes, but the mystery is solved already.
Wow. Mr. Sholmes can really engage his brain when he's hungry enough, I guess.
As you can see, he has returned to his habitual duties of standing.
Oh, yes.
Yes. His habitual duties? Allons. Do not disturb.
Poor Susie. She looks very perplexed.
I'm perplexed.
Okay.
There it is. Madame Tussauds, you can see all kinds of different wax figures there. Queen of England, Beyonce.
Okay.
Like, tons of different wax figures are here.
That's cool.
Oh, what a horrifying scene! A murderer caught in the grisly act!
I know, and in the case you're wondering, it's the one with the big knife that's supposed to be the killer.
Oh, I don't think anyone would be in any doubt about that, surely, Ryunosuke?
And did you know that according to the description, the bathtub at the back has no particular significance?
What? Really? I would have thought it was meant to show that the killer also worked in a bathhouse, peddling criminal wares.
Aha! We have a new theory!
I'm sorry, but it's hard not to think something disturbing about the bathtub. The one of Sholmes looks so lifelike.
It is. It's him.
This one's posture reveals his weakness.
I'm sorry, what, Susie?
The killer's stance leaves him wide open to attack. I'm quite sure that I could see him off. With a Susato takedown, then a Susato squash, and finally a Susato smash.
Right!
And if that doesn't render the culprit unconscious, a Susato slam should finish him.
Ah, Susato slam?
Oh, I'm sorry. It's rather hard to explain that one. Maybe I could show you. Leave yourself open slightly, and I will demonstrate, Ryunosuke.
Huh? Absolutely not!
Aww.
Okay, let's see, we can talk to this guy.
Oh, that's right, he is a figure.
That old policeman isn't here now, obviously. I still can't believe he just happened to be in the jury, though.
I'd understood that London has a population of 6 million people, and yet... You do seem to run into the same people disproportionately very often, don't you? Yeah, the same jurors are always on...
Yeah, that is
jury.
interesting, isn't it? Can we see what behind the curtain? Ah, yes, the heavy curtains in the middle of the House of Cores. Whatever's on the other side of them, you just know it's going to be terrifying, don't you?
The sign says it's the Madame Tussauds special exhibit. It seems you have to pay extra to go inside.
I know! Can you believe that? You have to pay more money as if you weren't scared enough already?
It's not my doing, Mr. Naruhodo.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I guess Sholmes himself.
Yep. We really do need to speak with Mr. Sholmes, and I am longing to say hello again, but he's working. And where is he anyway? I thought he was supposed to be around here.
I think you might find that he's quite nearby, actually.
Oh! What do you... Ah!
Indeed, my dear fellows, it is I.
Ah!
The world-famous great detective in waxwork, Herlock Sholmes. She fainted? Susie! Susie! Wow, that was an interesting reaction.
She didn't expect him to come alive.
My most humble apologies.
I thought I died and gone to eternal paradise for a moment via London.
Is she that head over heels for Sherlock Holmes? My dear madam, allow me to make amends by offering you a tasty free deduction at some point. As long as it's not of questionable street food quality, that's fine.
Oh, tasty deduction. I don't understand. Why are you working as a waxwork figure here, Mr. Sholmes?
Merely a secret identity, you understand? Though the case is largely solved now.
Largely solved?
Yes, quite right. We're talking about the wax figure abduction, I presume. Indeed we are, my good fellow. As I predicted, it was as easy as a proverbial slice of pie. I like pie. Though I confess I've yet to partake of a pie, proverbial or otherwise, or any food so far today for that matter. Oh, his stomach is rumbling. That stomach rumble echoed around the whole museum, Sholmes. So how did you manage to solve it so quickly? Ah, well, I do remember I said it was largely solved. Anyway, I simply negotiated with the culprit. Are you familiar with the so-called telephone?
Oh, yes. It's a most modern invention, allowing you to hold a conversation with people far away. In Japan, only in the imperial capital and a handful of other cities are connected as yet.
Interesting. This morning, a telephone call was received here from the perpetrator of the abduction. As such, I was able to negotiate terms, and in the end, the waxwork figure was returned. That's amazing, Sholmes! Just between you and I, it would appear the culprit had always intended to return the stolen wax figure at any event.
Oh, but I thought whoever was responsible had demanded a ransom, no?
And demanded a ransom?
Oh,
Yes, SA Spurs, your ultimate is tonight, man. Is that okay? It's after, Marvel. Yes, it's tonight. Unless you can't do it tonight. And then I'll do something else. I'll play Metroid or something.
if that works, I already said it.
Okay. Yes, I think perhaps the ransom demand was necessary to avoid unwanted suspicion regarding the true motive.
Thanks for the super chat, Leroy. He said yes, that works.
Okay.
But does that not mean your negotiating was entirely unnecessary?
A fact that I must ask you to keep from Madame Tuspel's at all costs. A hungry Iris awaits my return to Baker Street, after all. Poor Iris. Just let her sell her books. Now then, I do sense that you have some business with this great waxwork, yes? Yeah, sure. Enoch Drebber. We're in the process of trying to track somebody down. Oh?
Yes, a man by the name of Enoch Drebber. He's the swindler who duped Professor Hairbrain and the engineer who built the kinesis machine.
Ah, a swindler and an engineer. Quite the modern man, actually. He also seems to be a conjurer of sorts, too, with considerable knowledge of stage magic. We really need to locate him before the trial resumes tomorrow morning. But we have so few clues to go on, that's the trouble. Do you have any good ideas, Sholmes? I have no data yet. It is a capital mistake to have good ideas before one has data. If I knew something of the man's appearance, at least I may be in better position to help. Ah yes, Drebber's appearance. Fortunately for you, however, presently I have little to occupy myself and little to fill my stomach. As soon as you find any clue, no matter how small, I should gladly give you my thoughts on it. Okay.
People are curious what Leroy's stream is tonight.
Xenoblade. Mr. Sholmes, did you lie to us? My dear Mr. Naruhodo, stay that piercing stare. What is this about?
Last winter, when we were first on our way to Britain, aboard the steamship. Your words were very clear.
So then, let us unravel this mystery, and discover the events that led to this curious murder.
You told us that it was murder, and you examined Kazuma-sama's body.
Indeed, and wherein lies the problem? We met him earlier today, the victim, Kazuma Asogi. You what? You're quite sure?
He was wearing some sort of mask and was apparently suffering from amnesia, but yes, I'm quite sure it was Kazuma-sama. You must have known at the time, Mr. Sholmes, that he wasn't actually dead.
Well, I can only assume I was swept up in the murderous atmosphere of the moment. But the fellow wasn't dead at all! Ha 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 ha! Precisely! Priceless. I don't suppose that performance would pass muster, would it, Mr. Naruhodo? I could believe that the crewman present at the time made a mistake, but not you, Mr. Sholmes. What's going on? I will now tell you something of the first importance, my dear fellow. Great detectives are wont to lie. It will serve you well to remember that. What?
Or want to lie.
Please, Mr. Sholmes.
Meaning they lack the ability to lie or whatever.
Tomorrow in court you will find yourself on the threshold of a very great mystery. For now, I'm afraid that is all I can say. Okay. Well, let's present that picture of the,
So he came back to life.
No, he didn't come back to life. He wasn't dead.
So like Basil of Baker Street, the Great Mouse Detective, says Spider Star?
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, there is a Baker Street in that.
Yep. Mr. Sholmes, cast your eyes over this photograph, if you don't mind.
It's of Mr. It's of Mr. Enoch Drebber, Mr. Sholmes. The face of the engineer that we seek.
Ah, well, all English look broadly the same, of course. So looking at the photograph won't be particularly instructive. Are you alright, Mr. Sholmes?
He's seen the person. Well, this guy looks different than most people.
Ah, yes, forgive me. Very interesting, very interesting indeed.
What's wrong, Mr. Sholmes? You've turned quite pale all of a sudden.
Oh my. I have a suggestion, Mr. Naruhodo. You will indulge me, yes? Yeah, well, what is it? As explained to you when you arrived, the missing waxwork has been returned, and I presume installed in the exhibit from which it was taken, behind those thick curtains. Yeah, so the professor exhibit, isn't it? What of it? Would you like to see it for a mere 5 shillings? That's a special one-time only price, you understand. What? The opportunity won't come again, I might add. Wouldn't you like to see the fruits of my labor?
Oh, we do have a rather pressing investigation to carry out. Perhaps we could postpone...
The price is very reasonable, 5 shillings. I think you'll find it well worth it.
Ah!
Are you being quite serious, Mr. Sholmes? Surely you all need one look at my expression to ascertain that this is a serious or silliness. I can never tell with you, that's the point.
Very well. It couldn't hurt. Here's your 5 shillings.
Gratefully received. So, the special exhibit awaits behind the curtain. I invite you to pursue it at your leisure. Now he's back to being a wax figure again.
Well, the money's been spent, so let's go and see the special exhibit.
Weren't we in the middle of some special case just now? Huh, through these heavy curtains at last, huh? Okay, guess we're going through the curtains. 5 shillings we've had to pay. It doesn't seem right somehow that Mr. Sholmes slipped the money into his own pocket, does it?
No. We could ask Gina to retrieve it for us using her special skills.
Pickpocketing police officers and dwindling detectives. Is this what makes Britain so great? Not to mention demigod prosecutors taking the law into their own hands, or chip-loving inspectors.
Inspector Gregson comes off rather well in that list, I think. Well, let's see. Someone was asking how long the stream is. We usually stream for almost 2 hours, so probably at least a half an hour left or more.
We're getting to the point where we're gonna stop soon. I have a feeling this investigation is gonna be whoa!
Whoa, the head is missing. Oh dear, I felt a shiver run down my spine as soon as we walked in here.
Miss Susie!
Ah!
I say we turn our heels and go straight home via the really big confectionery!
We certainly can't do that. We paid 5 shillings already.
True.
We have to stare at this now.
Actually, now I'm looking a little more closely. The dude's missing his head. We paid good money to see an exhibit that's clearly incomplete. The nerve of that great dwindling detective is far more terrifying than anything else in this place.
This must be what Mr. Sholmes meant when he said that the case was largely solved.
Largely solved, but where's the head? Be that as it may, Mr. Sholmes heavily implied that there would be a clue about the engineer in here, didn't he? But where? Since we paid 5 shillings, let's do a 5 shilling worth investigation, shall we?
Yes, we will get what we paid for.
Is that the fear or frustration that's making Susie's voice tremble?
We will get what we paid for. There.
Who's this person?
This is part of the exhibit. It's just disturbing as the rest. It looks so real.
It seems to be a young man in a white overcoat. And he has a large... Whoops.
And a large shovel in his hand, look!
Hi, Zelda. Perhaps we should investigate it in a little bit more detail.
I don't want to know what the face looks like.
There's a camera on him.
Do, 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 do.
What's this here?
Well, this would appear to be a lens in the middle, so I believe it's probably a camera.
Ah, a camera, but it's so small. British technology is incredible, isn't it? I mean, what about Mr. Sholmes' skin prints?
I think perhaps you should treat Mr. Sholmes' inventions as exceptions to the rule. But anyway, why would the man in a graveyard at night be with a camera?
I wonder. Perhaps he was trying to capture the moment a dead body came back as a ghost on film?
We'll just borrow this for a little while, I think.
They took the camera?
Susie! By looking at the photographic plate inside the camera, you can see what picture was taken.
What photograph plate?
It's 1800s camera thing. It's a piece of glass coated in a special emulsion that reacts to the light coming in the camera. We can all... I actually did a report on this in school.
Okay.
We open the cover at the back of the camera. We should find it. Let's have a look.
You should see yourself, Susie. Your eyes are shining.
I like to learn.
You really do like machinery, don't you?
And to learn stuff. Basically, as far as I remember from my report I did a long time ago, instead of like pieces of paper, like flimsy little pictures that you get now, photographs, basically a photographic plate would be like just like a big slab of metal or glass, and you put that in the camera, and then it would imprint that on it, so the picture would actually be really big, like really thick.
The spade and the shovel thing continues it again.
Oh no. What a large shovel! He's holding it rather ominously though, isn't he? What on earth was the man doing with a shovel in the graveyard in the middle of the night?
Miss Susie.
Yes?
That's a spade, isn't it?
No! It's a shovel, Ryunosuke!
No. Shovels are for digging. That's for scooping up loose materials. It's a spade.
Oh my gosh. We have been through this, Mr. Naruhodo. It is a shovel.
No. Although, we haven't considered trowels.
Trowels? We've allowed ourselves to be distracted, I feel. Perhaps we should concentrate on the man and what he was doing with the implement.
So we're going to bury the hatchet then? You're right, though. It's still a spade. What was the man doing in the graveyard in the first place? That's the real question.
Ryunosuke Naruhodo! You're driving her nuts.
That's quite a large lamp the man's carrying. Or is it a lantern?
Oh my gosh.
It's not like a Japanese paper lantern, actually, is it?
Lamp, lantern, chokin, chachin. The point is, it doesn't matter. It casts very little light to be walking alone in a graveyard at night with only this. Who cares what it's called, Ryunosuke? Well, I certainly didn't do it.
I'm not sure I could visit a graveyard at all, even in broad daylight, to be honest. Oh, we can see his face.
Creepy.
I can't see his face very well, can you? Perhaps if I just...
Oh! Do you think that you should be manhandling the exhibit, Mr. Naruhodo?
I'll put it back exactly as it was, don't worry.
I can't take you anywhere, Ryunosuke.
Uh-oh.
Ah! Creepy.
Ah!
What on earth? What can...
I don't believe it! A black monocle!
Mr. Naruhodou! Is it possible that this man is...
Yes! It's Mr. Drebber!
Oh!
The color of his hair is different, but
Oh!
it's unmistakably him!
I never know what the neighbors are doing.
Indeed it is! Mr. Sholmes! This man is the subject of your present hunt, I believe. Yup, that's right. Just who is this man anyway? Why is he here in this exhibit? And why does this convict behind him have no head? The head was missing when the model was returned by the thief who stole it. What a surprise. So then, the case isn't yet solved, is it? Did I not say so myself? Largely solved were my words, I believe. But I must locate the missing head. As Madam would say, or I'll be in grave trouble. A very hungry Iris still awaits my return to Baker Street, presumably with rations. Ah!
Do you know, though? Something about this room is strange.
Strange? What do you mean?
Well, the displays in the House of Horrors are supposed to depict real-life events, are they not?
Indeed they are, Miss Susie. Do go on.
And, as terrifying as they are, the scenes in the other exhibits are believable. But this one... This surely couldn't ever really have happened. Could it?
I think it's time I educated you a little. About the nature of the incidents involving the professor 10 years ago. What? One second, Sholmes. We're gonna...
Unless they tried to bury somebody that was... this is creepy.
Actually, you know what? I think we're good for
I
today.
guess we don't even know what that guy is.
We'll continue tomorrow because this has gone on pretty long. Which is fine. Sometimes investigations can be rather long. Right?
Rather
long.
It has been 2 hours and 27 minutes. So.
Yeah, this is good. This is a good.
Usually we only go 2 hours, but everyone's been watching this for 2 hours and 27 minutes, Ryunosuke.
Well, our Google context says the longer people watch the streams, the more it helps improve the watch time. So.
Thank you all for improving the watch time.
All right.
But I think we'll have to stop now.
Yeah, I need to eat something before my next stream. So anyway, guys and gals, that is going to do it for today's episode of the Great Ace Attorney Adventures #2 Resolve. Thank you so much for watching, part of the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles series. A special shout-outs again to Capcom for providing a copy. Thank you again to Brittany Luna for renewing her Ultimate membership. We know that you've been going through quite an ordeal this week with having some stuff happen, so we hope things have been resolved for you, and it's very kind of you for renewing for people like us. But the next stream will be around 8:30, 8:15-ish on Marvel Future Revolutions. I'm going to go eat some dinner and meet you guys back here in a little bit. So,
yay!
Thanks, everybody, and we'll see you later.
I'll see you next stream.
Bye-bye.
In about a half an hour or so. God bless. Happy gaming. See ya.